did. You know what your problem is? I ain't got no problem. Don't tell me. Let's go.
Hip Hop and Love, Season 12. Even though Atlanta had been full of drama, surprising turns, and intense arguments, Episode 15 was something else entirely. Joe's wife, Kendra Robinson, was magnificently emphasized as her story progressed in a way that fans hadn't seen in a long time. In this episode, Kendra showed the world a completely different side of herself, one that was strong, self-reliant, and unflinching. At the start of the episode, Kendra appeared to be going through a particularly trying period in her marriage, and she had never had an easier relationship with Joe. Kendra had been Joe's pillar of support, helping him through his highs and lows and managing his public image and job with poise despite countless rumors. Over the years, the couple had faced many challenges, such as Jacques' tumultuous affairs, but Kendra had remained faithful through all of the highs and lows that come with being married to a well-known person. His past mistakes and the strain of juggling a family life with a career in entertainment. But it seems like things have gotten out of hand in this episode. Jay has long been a well-known figure in the hip-hop and love industries due to his charisma, flirtation, and love of drama. It is difficult to ignore his commitment issues because viewers have seen him in a series of erratic relationships over the years. However, Kendra had always supported him, acting as a loyal wife, even when it looked like everyone was doubting him. Even though Jacques was devoted, the public saw something much different. After weeks of emotional struggle and stillness between her and Jacques, Kendra, a lady who was growing sick of Jacques' pranks, began to prioritize herself for the first time in years. It all began with a moment that seemed to be a wake-up call for Kendra, who was spotted meeting with friends at a nearby cafe to talk about her marriage, her problems, and, above all, her mounting dissatisfaction. In their relationship, Kendra had always been the more sensible one, but it appeared that she had reached her breaking point in this episode. Kendra was concerned about her future because of Jacques' behavior, his lack of commitment, and the ongoing turmoil in his profession. She had clearly grown worn out of Ken and the stress of their marriage alone, especially because Jacques appeared more interested in the drama around him than in the safety of their house. But in the midst of these annoyances, something surprising happened. Kendra and this new man clicked right away, and their shared moment had a palpable intensity that caught spectators off guard. He was more attuned to Kendra's emotional needs than Jacques had been in recent months, and he was pleasant and attentive. This discussion showed a side of Kendra that had been buried for a long time, and it was nice to see her vulnerability.
I have some younger eggs for the next I'm dealing with. That's how I felt. At this point, she said, let her do what she want to do. So I said, do what you want to do, I'm doing what I want to do. So,
what do you mean?
Do what I want to do.
You can't do what you want to do, because the last time you did what you want to do, you stepped out on Kendra and had a baby.
I feel like we should already made a decision for herself, for me, and our future. And you know, yeah, I am. It's kind of like, do I go to prove her right and do my thing? And I already know how she feels. She already telling me what it is. It is what it is, man. I'm just like whatever. You know what I'm saying? You want me what you want me to do, I want.
Jack, this is your wife. Maybe she's just hurt. You can't not care.
But Gianna wasn't here when she said I don't have kids with you. Nobody was here. I wasn't cheating with none of that. I was busting my ass to make sure I was providing for my family. That's it. You know what I'm saying? So whatever.
That's a lot. I've never seen Jack like this before, so clearly Kendra never talk with him, never go to well. I'm afraid that Jack is going to do something stupid.
Over the course of the episode, an emotional conflict arose from the tension between Kendra's current relationship with this new man and her previous relationship with Jacques. Despite the ongoing emotional roller coaster, she had spent a lot of time trying to make her marriage work with Jacques. However, she was now reminded of what it was like to be recognized and appreciated by this new man. Kendra had always been committed to her husband and family, but now that something else might be possible, she began to question whether staying with Jacques was still worth the emotional strain. Kendra realized for the first time in a long time that she could make decisions based on her own happiness instead of just her relationship, and the prospect of starting again with someone who genuinely cared about her well-being seemed intriguing. As the episode progressed, Joss became aware of how Kendra, the person he had previously relied on, was evolving and came to the realization that the storms of his personal and professional lives were beginning to pass. Jock's usually confident manner seemed to falter as he tried to reignite the spark that had previously existed between them, but he ran into resistance. All around her saw Kendra's change since they met. She was evolving into a more forceful, unrepentant version of herself who demanded the respect and commitment she deserved, rather than the quiet, patient wife who tolerated Jock's actions. As Jock tried to rebuild their connection, a conflict between Kendra and Jock seemed inevitable in this episode. Kendra had to decide whether to stay married, which was a tough decision. That seemed to drain her emotionally, or would she free herself and think of anything else? As he tried to defend his actions, Jock's exasperation was clear, but Kendra was no longer believing it. The problems that had been there all along were revealed as the facade of their idyllic relationship crumbled. Kendra's encounter with the new man signaled a dramatic shift in her viewpoint rather than the immediate dissolution of her marriage. She was taking control of her own life, recognizing her worth, and understanding that her happiness could not be reliant on the deeds or failings of others. She was no longer scared to put herself first, and she wasn't going to wait for Jock to change. As the program ended, Kendra was still not sure what she would do next. The bond between her and the new man made others question if this would signal the dissolution of her union with Joss. More than just a new relationship, Kendra Robinson's emotional journey in this episode was about empowerment and coming to terms with the fact that she could follow her own path, no matter where it took her. Hip-hop and love were part of her path. Atlanta's character narrative changed drastically in episode 15 of season 12. She was becoming more than just a helpful wife. She was becoming a woman who valued herself and didn't think twice about taking control of her own destiny. A new chapter in her life that would put her marriage, her identity, and her connections with Jock and the outside world to the test was set in motion by the episode. It was a story about growing as a person and the difficult choices that come with embracing a fresh beginning and letting go of the old.
You're not willing to go, and made very suspicious.
Look, you deserve the absolute truth.
I thought I already heard the truth.
Just listen to me. When me and you first met, you know what I'm saying? There were moments where our relationship overlapped hardly in my direction. You gotta think, you and I was just friends for a long time.
The fact that you were just now telling me.
Completely different Kendra was spotted meeting with friends at a nearby cafe to talk about her marriage, her problems, and, most importantly, her mounting dissatisfaction following weeks of emotional upheaval and quiet between her and Jock. For Kendra, who was beginning to put herself first for the first time in years and was getting tired of Jock's pranks, this scenario felt like a wake-up call. Kendra was always more reasonable, but Jock's behavior seemed to have exhausted her. Kendra was doubting her future and wanted to be defined by herself alone because of his reluctance to truly commit and the constant upheaval around his career. Connection to a Jock, she had clearly become worn out of carrying the weight of their marriage alone in the face of these frustrations, especially when it appeared that Jock was more concerned with the drama surrounding him than the stability of his family. There was an unexpected event. Viewers were surprised by the clear chemistry that developed between Kendra and this new man. He was more attuned to Kendra's emotional needs than Jockey had been in recent months, and he was pleasant and attentive. This discussion showed a side of Kendra that had been buried for a long time, and it was nice to see her vulnerability.
I know that you know. She's not doing it out. You deal with that. Them your old ass, sad, sorry ass bones. You deal with it. I don't have to. You lucky I'm doing this one. That's the blessing. Was making it look like it was more than what it was. You should have reached out. I'm not a bitch off the street. You got money with my family. Yeah, but I was getting money with them before you came along. It doesn't matter. You still owe me a compensation, girl. You been in my house.
But see,
I don't owe anybody anything. You do. You owe me an explanation. You all up in my husband's table and